Good morning. Today is December 21st. I'm going to call this one coal or oil because as we enter what is now commonly called holiday week in the US, it feels like Santa's going to be leaving us coal instead of cute little presents wrapped up in Starbucks red. Last week was a week of lessons and a really, really great example of why I have never been a short-term trader. If you recall, my advice was to go long ahead of the Fed announcement. And I have to say that I was right, but I was also wrong, because also remember that I prefaced my recommendation by saying that if I were a crazy short-term trader, this is what I would do. Because, the markets did rally all the way to Wednesday and even into Wednesday evening after trading. But then on Thursday and Friday, things just went crazy. Too quick. I also said, be quick. And if you weren't quick, all of those gains and then some would have been wiped out by Friday. Oil again ruled the day. You have to understand that traders have been chasing that bottom for oil for a while, a couple of years, 18 months, something like that. They've been building huge positions and hoping that, the oil price is going to turn around. According to Bloomberg, never in the history of EFTs has one category, oil, drawn so much money from investors trying to pick a bottom. Close to $30 billion in the last 18 months. Yeah, I think $30 billion invested both in oil stock EFTs and oil futures. Of course, much of that has already been lost, but many positions still exist. And what I have always said to those who try to pick a bottom is, well, you pick a bottom, you're going to have your bottom handed over to you. And yes, of course, I'll give myself the quote of the day on that. Pick a bottom, your bottom's handed over. And oil, well, oil, if there is a Santa Claus rally this year, it's going to probably be called Saudi Claus. And, while we're talking about naughty or nice, Apple has been a disaster this year. Well, not a huge disaster, but it's a disaster. And Apple, because has a huge percentage of the indices, has had a large impact on the Dow Jones. As a matter of fact, I think Apple alone is responsible for about 80 some odd points of the Dow's 591 point decline as of last week. It's also had a big share of the S&P. Apple has always been that stock that people love to love and love to hate. I've been on the love side most of it, and I think that, Apple isn't going anywhere soon. I don't mean the stock, I mean the company. It's not going to go away. So I'm going to say that around 100, Apple's a really good buy. And you've probably missed it already because in early morning trading, Apple was up. Not disappointing is Disney. A stock that I have never owned for personal reasons. There is such a thing as responsible investing, and the manipulation by Disney of my kids and grandkids and probably my great-grandkids is awful. So despite that, they are really good. And that Force Awakens broke all historical records in the opening weekend. I thought now cashing in on like $238 million just in the US. Disney was up over 15% already this year, or is up 15%. Buy it? I don't know. It's up to you. Remember, responsible investing. Disney is an amazing company. It's also not going to go away, but I'm just not going to buy it. My favorite photo of the week was ex-touring pharma CEO Martin Schreckl. I don't know. I call him Shrek anyway, the Shrek. He was in handcuffs being put away for some kind of Ponzi scheme thing. And he, of course, claims that he's innocent. He's the guy that raised the price of that life-saving drug by 5,000%. And you know what? Maybe that is our Christmas present. That's divine justice. Down south in Argentina, President Macri had a fantastic first week. I mean, amazing, explosive. I love the guy. He's not fooling around. In one fell swoop, he said, we're eliminating exchange controls and all that crazy currency. There were 4 currencies in Argentina, 4 kinds of dollar exchange rates, and it was really a little hard to handle. The immediate impact was around a 30% devaluation. And, the markets feared that this would have a tremendous effect on Argentinian imports as import prices go up. But, imports in Argentina have been declining since 2011, not coincidentally when exchange controls were first put in. I mean, the cepo, the so-called cepo. I think at that time they reached an all-time high of over close to 8 billion to the present below 5 billion. That's a huge decline. Foreign direct investment has dropped to 281 million. It's nothing from 1.5 billion. Capital outflows mostly I say on the black market, they can't be measured because they're in the black market. But I've heard said that if all Argentines brought their money back into the country, it would be more than enough to repay the external debt of the country. Just keep an eye on Argentina. It's not because I'm Argentine, because I'm also Irish, Italian, and very much a citizen of the US. But keep an eye on Argentina. That's all I'm saying. So this year, I'll probably wrap up the year in the next couple of weeks, maybe next Monday, maybe not. And then I'm going to take a month off and just reconfigure this whole thing. And please don't miss me very much. I'll come back with a much better product, something that you just won't be able to stay away from. So for those who celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas, or as my dad used to say, Happy Christmas. And otherwise, Felices Fiestas. Thanks for checking in.